going to start off with today is I'm going to put up a problem, and we are just going to see if we remember how to multiply a monomial by a polynomial. So what we did yesterday, what is a monomial? Or what's the difference between a monomial and a polynomial? Do you think you know, Billy? Yeah, the polynomial has the adding and subtracting. The monomial doesn't have it. So if we want to simplify, so we're going to simplify this. 2p times the quantity, negative 4p squared, plus 5p. And then minus 5 times the quantity, 2p squared, plus 20. Okay. All right, so how are we going to simplify this? Yep, Chris? Okay, so we're going to have to start distributing. So we're going to take this 2p, and we want to distribute it to both things in the parentheses. When we distribute it, what operation are we doing between these two? We're multiplying. Okay, so what's going to be 2p times a negative 4p squared? Negative 8p. It's not squared, though. It's to the what power? Yeah, to the third power. How do we know that this is to the third power? When we multiply, we just need to see how many total exponents we have. We've got 2 of them here and another one here, so we have a total of 3 p's being combined together. Okay? How about when we take the 2p times the 5p? Yep, 10p to the what power? Yep, p to the second, because we've got 2 p's there. Okay, now what should we do with the second part of this expression? Same exact thing. We're going to now distribute a minus 5 to both of those. So what is negative 5 times 2p squared? Good, negative 10p squared. Okay, and what is negative 5 times 20? Yeah, negative 100. Good. Everyone okay with that step? Okay, so now, what would we do to finish simplifying this? Good, combine like terms. So, this problem, notice that our like terms are right next to each other. So notice our p squareds are right next to each other, so we probably don't need to write it down in a column how we were doing yesterday, because they're just right next to each other. So here, there's no other p cubed, so we'd still have our negative 8p cubed. And then what would we get if we take a positive 10p squared and a minus 10p squared? They cancel, so we don't have any p squareds left, and we just have a minus 100. So there's our simplified answer. Is that one okay? We're going to do another one like that, but that's a little bit harder. I still see a couple pencils, so I'll wait before I put up a new screen. All right, so example 2. Did we need it still up there? Sorry, Lindsay, I thought I saw them all down. We're good, we can wait. I'll cut that out. Good? Okay. All right, so example 2. Once again, we are simplifying. 15t times the quantity 10y cubed t to the 5th plus 5y squared t minus 2y times the quantity yt squared plus 4y squared. What would make this one slightly more challenging than our previous example? It's got more what in it? Yeah, it's got more variables in it. So it looks like it's pretty confusing, but really we're doing the same steps as we did in the last problem. So what do we have to do with those values that are in front of the parentheses? Multiply them through. So we're going to start off with that. So we're going to take 15t times our 10y cubed t to the fifth and 15t times our 5y squared t. So what would be 15t times 10y cubed t to the fifth? So let's start with what 15 times 10 is. Okay, so 15 times 10 is 150. Yep, y to the third t to the sixth. How did we get t to the sixth there? What did you think?
Because t counts as there's automatically one above that t, so then you just add it to the other t to the bottom.
Good, so here's one t in this first part. We have t to the fifth there, so when we multiply them together, we have a total of 6 t's. Okay, so now let's take 15t times 5y squared t. So what's the 15 times 5 part? 75. Y squared and how many t's? 2 t's, so y squared t squared. Is that okay? All right, so now what do we do with the second part with this minus 2y? Distribute that through as well. Okay, so what would be negative 2y times yt squared? Yeah, Jacob? Excellent. Minus 2y squared t squared. Everyone clear why this is a y squared? Okay. What would be the negative 2y times the 4y squared? Billy? Good. Negative 8y cubed. Oh, you guys remember a lot from last year. This is good. No. Okay. So let's take a look. Are there any like terms? Do any of those match exactly?
Yeah.
Which ones, Jacob?
75y squared t squared minus 2y squared t squared.
Yeah, these two they match exactly. They both have the y squared and the t squared. They're written right next to each other, so it's pretty easy to see how we need to combine them. All right. So we still have our 150 y cubed t to the sixth. What will this be? Yep, plus 73 y squared t squared.
Wait, no, didn't you get rid of the other two? No, you just subtract. Oh wait, no, you just, okay.
Now when we add and subtract these, remember the exponents always stay the exact same. And then what will be our ending part here? Yeah, Chris? Good, minus 8y to the third. Excellent. Complicated answer, but when we go through it step by step, are you able to follow to get there?
Yep.
Yes? Okay. All right, so let's also then, let's see how much you guys remember about solving. Okay. This is simplifying, okay? Solving means that we have to have an equal sign in there. So we want to solve. So solve means we are actually going to go through and figure out what that variable is. This might be one of the most complicated equations you have ever seen. This is example 3. 2a, and then in parentheses, 5a minus 2, close your parentheses, plus 3a, and then in parentheses, 2a plus 6, close your parentheses, plus 8, equals 16a squared minus 7a plus 50. I actually shortened that right-hand side up a little bit because I was going to run out of space. So I simplified that right-hand side quickly in my head. Okay, probably the longest equation you guys have seen, but we can handle it. Okay, it's not that big of a deal. The only thing that might throw us off is this a squared, but we're going to see pretty quickly on what's going to happen with that. So, what would we start with if we wanted to solve this? Yep. We're going to start by distributing. So we're going to distribute the 2a. So what would be 2a times 5a? 10a squared. Okay, how about the 2a times the minus 2? Yeah? Good, minus 4a. Okay, repeat similar process with the 3a to the next set of parentheses. So what would be the 3a times the 2a? 6a squared.
That's okay in the square.
What's the 3a times the 6?
9a.
Times? You added? 18. 8. And then plus 8. Okay? And then this other side of the equation, we're just going to leave as 16a squared minus 7a plus 50 because there's nothing else we can do there. Okay. Now what do you think we do to that left-hand side? Simplify to get our like terms together. So we've been doing like terms by writing them in columns. That's one way we can do it. We should also be able to do like terms along a row if it's not too complicated. So here we have a 10a squared. Is there anything else that would go with the 10a squared? 6a squared. Okay, so those two give us a 16a squared. Okay, so we have a minus 4a and a plus 18a that are also the same. So what would those be? Good, plus 14a, and then we have our plus 8. Right-hand side, we're just going to leave the same. 16a squared minus 7a plus 50. We haven't done anything over there yet, so we're not going to change it. Now, when you solve equations, what's your ultimate goal? What are you trying to do when you solve an equation? What do you want to do? Get the answer. What is the answer? Yeah, tell us what we would want to do. Okay, why would we want to minus the 16a squared over? I agree with you, but why? Good, to cancel with the other side. Is that exactly what you're going to say? Okay. So here we notice that there's a 16a squared on both sides. A squared, we haven't learned how to solve equations with a squareds yet. Okay, so we want to minus that from both sides. Remember, what you do to one side of the equation, you must do to the other side. So here we're doing it to both sides of the equation. A lot of you are going to like to draw your lines. Draw your lines if you want to draw your lines. If you don't want to draw your lines, tell you what, you don't have to as long as you keep it neat. Okay, as long as the equation isn't going all over. So these 16a squareds now, what happens to those? Are they gone? They're just gone. Okay, we're gone. All right, now, So we have left a 14a plus 8 is equal to a negative 7a plus 50. So now what would we have to do to solve this equation? Great. So we want to get the a's together all on one side. So here this says minus 7a, so we can add 7a to the other side so that the a's get together. So when we add 7a here, 14a plus 7a, what's that going to give us? Add 21a. And we still have a plus 8 equals 7a's. What happened there? They're gone. And so what are we left with over on the right-hand side? 50. Are you guys remembering how to solve equations? Oh, good. Then what? Get rid of the 8. How are we going to get rid of that 8? Subtract the 8. Okay, so that means we still have our 21a. 8's are gone. Is equal to 42. Is the a alone yet? How do we get the a alone? Divide by 21. I'm going to write it up here. So we're going to divide by 21. So a is 2.
That's a lot of work.
How do you know that the number 2 is correct?
Because I knew that.
How do you know that we went through all that work and we didn't make a mistake somewhere? What can you do? You can check it. You guys remember checking? Yes, you remember checking. Okay. We can check in our heads, though, a little bit. So every time we see a, we want to replace it with 2. So starting here, 2 times 2 is what? 4. So I'm going to replace this 2a with a 4. Oh, that's really, you probably can't see that very well. Change it to a darker green. 4. Here's another a, 5 times 2. 5 times 2 is 10. Minus 2. Plus 3 times 2 is 6. 2 times 2? 4. Still plus 6 and then plus 8. So let's figure out what this is. 10 minus 2? 8 times 4? So we got 32 from that first one. 4 plus 6? 10 times 6? Plus 60 and then plus 8. What's 32 plus 60? 92 plus 8 is 100. So we got 100 over there. So let's see if this side is also 100. So if our a is 2, we have to start with our exponent. So 2 squared would be 2 to the second power. 4, yeah. Minus 7 times 2 would be 14 plus 50. All right, well, what's 16 times 4? 64. Minus 14 plus 50. So it's 64 minus 14. 50 plus 50 is? Good, we got them to be the same thing. So you can always check your work to make sure you did it right. Okay, and we'll stop there for today. And like I said, on Monday, we'll pick back up. So we'll do some more of this on Monday in class.